Athletic Center on the campus of St. Joseph College, where tonight the Fighting Saints play host to the Knights from VTC in women's men's college basketball action. And as always, brought to you here on STCN, Stafford Technical Center News. And hello again, everybody. I'm Rick Lyons. I'll be bringing you the call of tonight's double dip, men's-women's doubleheader here in Rutland, Vermont. And let's set the table. We're about 2 minutes away from tip. The VTC Knights Women's Club come in at 6-15 overall, 5-5 in conference play. They score at 51 a night, and they shoot it at 32% from the floor, 27 from behind the arc, and 62% free throw shooters are the Knights. 94-35, their last outing, a loss to Pine Manor earlier in the week, and they're led in scoring. Check our stats here. Paige Wells, senior center out of Orleans, Vermont, 13.5 a game. She also pulls down 12.5 boards, does Paige. Also, Katie Thigson, a freshman forward out of Barry, Vermont, averages 11 per, and she shoots it well from behind the arc at 27% and even better from the free throw line at 90%. And how about the Lady Fighting Saints, ranked number 1 in the last 2 weeks in the USCAA Division II poll? So number 1 nationally ranked Fighting Saints take the floor, looking for their 15th out of their last 16. They come in winners of 4 straight. Central Maine, Augusta, NHTI, and their latest victim of Vaughn College on Sunday, a 50-point decision over Vaughn. And of course, they're led by a triple-headed monster, if you will. Regina Steele, 18.9. The center for the Saints, 18.9 points per game, 14 rebounds and 3.5 blocks. And the backcourt of Mookie Kennedy and Jazz Larasuente, they combine for 34 points a night, shoot it well from deep, or they can beat you off the bounce. We'll pause now for the playing of our national anthem. And so we're almost ready to go here in Rutland, Vermont. First of 2 tonight. And our starting lineups for the VTC Knights. Number 4, Caitlin Lyford, sophomore guard out of Barry. And number 12, Alyssa Casanelli, senior guard out of Barkhamsted, Connecticut. And number 21, sophomore guard out of Monmouth, Maine, Daisy Poole. Number 32, Paige Wells, senior center out of Orleans, Vermont. And number 50, Haley Burkhart, sophomore guard out of Plainfield, Vermont. VTC is coached by Jamie Patterson. And now for your Fighting Saints. Number 0, Shamari Broadhead. Number 1, Shantavia Mookie Kennedy. Number 11, Regina Steele. And number 12, Jazz Larasuente. And rounding out the starting 5 for the Fighting Saints, number 30, Jamie McLaughlin. And, of course, the Saints are coached by Chris Wood. The Saints, they can get up and down the floor, as we know. They score 80 a night, allow 46, shoot 43% from the floor. 31% from behind the arc and 65% from the line. And before our anthem, we had to break quickly to get to our anthem, talking about that backcourt. Mookie Kennedy averages just under 19 per, shoots it at 42% from behind the arc. And, of course, earlier in the season, Mookie became an 1,000-point scorer career-wise for the Fighting Saints. And Jaslera Suente, she averages just a shade under 16 points, and she also shoots well from deep. Jazz shoots it at 33% from deep. So as we said, they can beat you off the dribble, or they can step back and shoot it over the top. These two clubs have met earlier, much earlier in the season, on the 20th of November. It was all CSJ, a 101-32 decision. Kennedy with 33 and Steele with 30 in that one. Fighting Saints led 48-18 at half and cruised to the early season win. So we'll see if tonight's a different story for the Knights from VTC. Wells and Steele ready to tip it up. We're underway in Rutland, Vermont. Kennedy controls, finds Lara Suente. VTC sitting in a 2-3 zone. Nice little high-low entry back to Steele, coming right down Broadway. Couldn't get it to go. VTC looks to clear the zone. Not an easy thing against these lightning-quick Saints guards, but they quickly do clear the zone, and they'll set. That's Burkhart on a deep pull. Steele clears. Broadhead looks down to Flor de Lara Suente. Around and out on her delivery from in close. Saints trying to pressure even off a miss. Not an easy thing to do, but they like to apply that pressure. As Lyford lights it up from the deep right-hand corner, a 3-ball for Caitlin. And they'll get number 50, Burkhart, with the reach for first. Probing the 2-3 zone here are the Saints. Nice dribble drive. And good ball movement, finding Steele up and in. So Broadhead to Lara Suente, who found Steele for the deuce. And steps called. That pressure, that 2-2-1 zone pressure, as we said in the prior possession, even trying to get into it off the miss of the Fighting Saints, easier to do off a make, and that time they turn the Knights over. Nice inbound run. They find Lara Suente in the corner. Mark it up. That's a 3-ball for Jazz. CSJ 5-3 advantage. A little too aggressive that time on the trap. They'll get Kennedy for the push. BTC inbounds. And well done that time by the Knights. Breaking pressure. They'll set up at the top. Poole with the ball on top. Looks things over. They work it deep left corner. That shot by Lyford won't go. She bottomed one from the right side. That time too strong on her delivery. And the Saints will bring it this way. Broadhead finds Lara Suente in the corner. Saints being patient. They find Steele up top, kick it backside to Kennedy. Steps into a 3-ball, front rims it. But Steele, aggressive on the glass. Powers it up and in. But they're going to call that personal on the floor. Foul goes against Wells. Her first, team's second. And Kennedy will inbound underneath. Finds Steele. They'll kick it back to Kennedy. Puts it on the deck. Finds Laughlin inside. Won't go. Laughlin gets her own rebound. Didn't really get her feet set, Jamie, that time. Put up her second attempt. Didn't go. And the Knights will push. Lyford drops it off in the corner. That's Wells. Can't get it to go. Kennedy in a hurry, finds Broadhead on the backside. Nice look inside to Laughlin. Spin move won't go. Larasuente looks to clean it up. A lot of good opportunities, not much going down right now inside for the Fighting Saints, but if you continue to pound offensive boards like that, more often than not, it pays dividends and will as we move forward in this one. That's pulled to the rim, having none of it, rejected, and out in front steal. Lays it up and in. So defense leading to offense. The shot blocked leads to a steal run out. You look for Lyford. Lyford kicks it into Wells. Wells goes up and in, partially deflected by Steele. Broadhead finds Larasuente. Nice drop off to McLaughlin. Can't get it to go. Out of the pack comes Lyford with the basketball. Sets, fires. Can't find the range. Larasuente, hesitation dribble. And again finds McLaughlin and back rims that one. Some good consistent looks. Just can't get anything to go down in the painted area. And Burkhart slows things up at the top. Saints pick up man. And drags the feet, does Haley. Turnover Knights. Checking into the contest, number 20, Katie Thigson for VTC. And also for the Fighting Saints, Shayonica Spate, number 25. Broadhead pitches back to Kennedy. Kennedy goes inside to Spate, and she'll be called for the steps. Caught it in traffic, knew what she wanted to do, but bumped off stride. Whistled for the travel. BTC inbounds underneath their own. Saints trying to trap in the 2-2-1. Broken nicely by the Knights. They swing it left to right. And in the corner, Thigson. Sorry about that. That was Thigson. Couldn't see the number. Bottom's that jumper. The other end quickly. Spate cleans up her own miss and gives the Fighting Saints a 9-5 lead, and that defense gives them the basketball back. Kennedy to the paint. Look for Spate. Deflected out of play. Saints retain possession. So just underway in Rutland, Vermont. 9-5 advantage for the Fighting Saints as they inbound. Broadhead goes back to Larasuente. Three ball out of the corner won't go. How about a wing three for Kennedy? That won't go. We've got a whistle, and that foul's going to go against number 25, Shayonica Spate. Her first, team's third. And a timeout by Coach Chris Wood. He'll talk it over. We'll take a break. Saints by 4 early. And welcome back to STCN as the Knights clear the timeline and find it to Casanelli into the action for the first time tonight and clear it back to Burkhart on top. Double teamed on top as she finds Lyford. Lyford puts it on the deck, trapped in the corner, tries to go inside, but no angle for that entry. Throws it out of play, Saints basketball. So good active defense by the Saints on that possession. Turns the Knights over. Quickly into their offensive zone. Larasuente to Spate, who kicks it back to Steele for the deuce. So nice ball movement, unselfish work by the Saints, and good defensive work right there. Larasuente on the steal and the push. Gets into painted area, misses her first attempt. Rebounds, and then a scrum inside. They're going to get the Saints for a 3-second violation. Don't know how that can happen when the ball's on the deck, nonetheless. 3-second violation. Checking it back into the game. Number 21, Daisy Poole. She'll come in for Lyford. Burkhart picks up her dribble. Don't want to do it that deep in the zone. But Casanelli off to the races, split the double team. Burkhart from the top knocks it back. Haley Burkhart bottoms the 3-ball. Second one of the evening for the Knights. 11-8 CSJ lead. Speaking of 3 balls, number 5 checked into the game. I missed it. Jenny Mendez. She lines it up and knocks it back. A 35% shooter from downtown, as Jenny showed us why right there. Shot won't go, but Casanelli up for the offensive board finds Burkhart, who gets another long jumper to go. So VTC pounding the offensive glass and finding Burkhart. Back-to-back jumpers. That one a long 2. And a timeout on the floor. We'll take one, too. 13-10 Saints. And welcome back to Saints basketball on STCN, Stafford Technical Center News. Quick timeout by Coach Wood. Wanted to talk things over. And the Knights handling the pressure effectively enough and have been able to find some open looks for their shooters. And the shooters have stepped up and knocked them back. Couple of 3 balls, also a deep 2 in that last possession. VTC has gotten to go. And as we said earlier in the year, it's a 101-32 decision, all CSJ. This one not the case, at least early, as the Fighting Saints hold the 3-point edge. Kennedy puts it on the deck, gets into the painted area. That shot deflected out of play. Saints will retain possession at the 13:08 mark of the first half. Steele puts it on, finds Mendez in the corner. And nice anticipation that time by Wells. Stepped in the passing lane, picked it off. And Burkhart walks it up the floor. Finds Casanelli, goes down low inside. Steele having none of it. Wells on a spin move. Regina sends it back at her. Drive off the wing won't go from Poole. But staying with it as Wells, up and in for the Knights. So good persistence that time. Couple of shot blocks and a loose ball, but VTC cashes in. Mookie takes it right down Broadway. Won't go. Kick it back to Larasuente. A 3-ball rims out. Burkhart on the push. Leveled off nicely by Kennedy. She'll find Poole. Whistle and a foul. They're going to get Larasuente for the reach. Checking into the ball game, number 14, Tony Lopez. And back into the game, number 0, Shamari Broadhead for CSJ. So Larasuente's first, team's third. BTC looks to inbound. They do. Go directly to Burkhart down low. And that's going to be a travel violation coming the other way. So Burkhart, Casanelli, Poole, Wells, and Lyford on the floor for VTC. Foul goes against Burkett. Her second. And they'll sub for Burkett. Bringing Lyford back into the contest. Steele looks to inbounds. Finds Lopez. Back to Steele. Back to Lopez. Tony runs it down. She'll set up. Broadhead gets it inside to Regina Steele. Her left hand won't go. VTC looks to run out. Fine Thigpen on top. Hands off to Poole. Poole goes inside. Wells with the spin move, partially deflected by Steele. Lopez comes out of the pack with it, and she'll push. Very nice. Larasuente to the trailing Steele for the 2. He VTC looks to answer quickly. They find Thigpen. Lyford, stop, pop, won't go. Loose ball. Casanelli runs it down. Right now, VTC winning a lot of the 50-50 balls. And a wheeling, spinning dervish by Wells. Shot wasn't going to go, but she draws the personal on Steele and work her way to the line for a pair. First one up and good for the senior center from Orleans. And the second one goes as well. Number 30, Jamie McLaughlin, back into the fray for CSJ, who hold a 1-point advantage at the 10:53 mark of the first. Lopez clears the timeline. Finds Steele on the wing. Broadhead trapped in the corner, back to Steele. Kicks it backside to Lopez. That's nice ball movement. Finds a cutting Kennedy for the finish at the rim. And the quick hands of Kennedy turns offense quickly into defense, takes it to the rack, and scores it. Well, the quick hands of the guards from CSJ, they've done it all season long, create a turnover there, and immediately score at the other end. Trapped outside and in trouble is Lyford. Gets the handoff, and they work it into the corner. That's number 12, Casanelli. Put it on the floor baseline, whistle and a foul. They're going to get Broadhead with the personal. Her first, team's fifth. They find Lyford. Lyford back to Thigpen for the bucket. So VTC not going anywhere early in this one. Nice offense there. Finding Katie for the jumper. Broadhead puts it on the deck, gets to the painted area. She'll be called for the travel. So good idea by Shamari. Got to where she wanted to go, just shuffled the feet. And with that, head coach Jamie Patterson will take a timeout. We'll take one, too, at the 9:48 mark. Saints lead it by 3. And welcome back to Saints basketball here on STCN, Stafford Technical Center News. The gang's here tonight, as always, doing an outstanding job. And bringing you a doubleheader. Women's action followed by a men's run. Little 1-3-1 half-court trap by Fighting Saints here, trying to turn over VTC. VTC all night long been on the verge of turning things over, as in that possession, but they find Poole, knocks down the foul line. Jay pulling the Knights to within 1. And they'll get Kennedy off the travel violation. Well, VTC, again, I wouldn't say looks sure against the Saints' pressure. Seems like half the time they almost turn the thing over. Sometimes do, but more often than not they don't, and have found open looks for some jump shooters. And so far, the Knights have been able to knock down their jump shots. That time, a little turnover. Casanelli got trapped. Kennedy out of the pack. Left hand push, up and in, and she'll work it all the way to the line for the old-fashioned three-point try. Mookie Kennedy, like we said, quick hands, converts defense to offense quickly. Saw it right there, a coast-to-coast dribble drive for 2 and possibly 3 as she settles in at the free throw line. And converts, does Kennedy. 22-18, CSJ. The 9:05 mark in this one. Lyford just brings it across the timeline, a trap, and she'll be called for dragging the pivot foot. Pick that dribble up. You want to know what you're going to do with the basketball. That time Lyford just crossed the timeline, immediately picked up her dribble, and of course trapped in the subsequent travel violation. Lopez finds Steele, foul line, kicks it back to Broadhead. Fan it backside to McLaughlin. Wanted to enter to Steele on the box. Good collapsing defense by the Knights. Kennedy will inbound. See if she gets it coming back to the corner. She will. Off a steal screen. A little too long on that release by Mookie. Casanelli trapped on the wing area. Gets it back to Poole. Poole swings it to Thigson. Gets into the paint for the shot release. Wouldn't go, but she'll work her way to the line for a pair. Foul goes against Lopez on the Saints. Her first, team's sixth. And Thigson, freshman forward out of Barry, Vermont, gets her first to go back into the contest. Lara Suente, she checks in for Lopez. Thigson gets a pair, not surprising. We highlighted at the top a 90% foul shooter is Katie. Gets two to go right there. Lara Suente puts it on the floor. One dribble, pull up. Rattles around, falls off. Wells clears. They look up the floor in a hurry. Poole wanted Casanelli on a sideline break. Threw it into the first row. And the Saints bring it to this end with a 2-point edge. Lara Suente thought about it in the deep corner, thought about it again, looks inside to steal, powers it up. Shot won't go, but a whistle and a foul. And they'll get Wells with the body. Steele works her way to the line for a pair. Back rims the first one, goes Regina. As Burkhart back into the game for VTC. She'll give Poole a break. Steele lines up her second. Up and good for Regina. Back to the 2-2-1 full court. Pressure this time by the Saints. VTC looks to go middle. McLaughlin, good hustle. Pries it away. Lara Suente, step back jumper. Yes! So pressure bothers the Knights that time. And VTC head coach Jamie Patterson wants to talk it over. Break on the floor. We'll take one, too. Saints by 5. And welcome back to Saints basketball here on STCN, where the St. Joseph Fighting Saints hold a 25-20 advantage. 7:44 left in the first half. But the VTC Knights, the visitors, not going anywhere, at least early in this one. Talked about their first meeting, a 70-point win by CSJ. But the Knights have done just enough offensively against this pressure, just enough once they cross the timeline. I shouldn't say just enough. They've actually shot the basketball very well from the perimeter, and they clear the timeline and get it to Burkhart on top, pressured by Lara Suente. And they'll get Jazz for the reaching foul. Her second, team 7th, and the rest of the way. The last 7:35 of the half, VTC will be in the bonus situation. Burkhart front rims that first one. Steele clears to Lara Suente. Looks it over. It goes between her legs and then leveled off and gets Broadhead on the backside. Skip pass. Wanted Kennedy on the backside, but Leifert got a hand in the passing lane. Nonetheless, Lara Suente, nice drop off to Steele. Lara Suente going down right down Broadway and gets it to Steele on the backside box for the deuce. And the quick hands of Lara Suente reaches in, causes that turnover. A scrum for it on the baseline. They'll find McLaughlin, puts it on the deck. One, can't get it to go. Steele, power dribble, can't go. And they'll get Regina over the top. So often that happens. You have a good look inside, it won't go, and then you're wanting to go after and get that ball and put it in the bucket. You go over the top and commit the personal. That's what happened right there to Steele. Back into the game for CSJ. Spate, number 25, and Amani Stevenson, number 10, seeing her first action of the evening. As Wells toes the line for a 1-and-1. Too strong on that release. And Spate comes out of the pack with it. Couldn't see who it was. She was buried inside there. They find Kennedy. Stop, pop, gets the shooter's roll. So put it on the deck once. Rose fired and got it. Did Kennedy. A 9-point edge by CSJ. 29-20 at the 6:30 mark. And the quick hands of Kennedy gets the hands in the passing lane. That's what we talked about earlier in a 10 count. Going against the Knights that time. So multiple times the ball was deflected. Saints jumping in the passing lanes. And the 10 count gives the ball back to CSJ. Kennedy inbounds underneath her own. Finds Steele. Stevenson. They'll swing it to Spate. Backside. Nicely done. Around the horn. They find Lara Suente inside. Shot didn't go, but Steele cleans it up. So nice ball moved by the Saints that time. Swung it around the horn. Initial shot didn't go, but Regina Steele on the offensive glass, as she has been all night, to clean up that possession. Whistle and a foul on that inbounds, and they'll get Lara Suente her third. So Jazz, she'll take a seat. Lopez back in for Lara Suente. As Poole works her way to the line for a 1-and-1. And knocks down the first, does Poole. Sophomore guard out of Monmouth, Maine. Second one rattles out. And Lopez pushes across the timeline, goes cross court to Stevenson. Puts it on the floor, finds Spade, who finds the trailing Steele. Up and one. So nicely done. Regina Steele trailing the action right down Broadway. And that's not the first time tonight they've found her. Regina gets the bucket. Toes the line for one. Gets it to go. 34-21, just inside of 6 minutes to play. CSJ starting to get a little cushion here. Working defense into offense. This time VTC does clear the time zone. Casanelli on top, puts it on the floor, finds Lyford buried inside. Somehow she gets a shot up on the glass and gets her own rebound. Falls to the deck, loses control, and it's Kennedy in front. So again, defense to offense, quick offense as Kennedy on the breakaway converts. And Coach Patterson wants to talk it over. Timeout on the floor. We'll take 1-2. Where the Fighting Saints hold a 15-point edge. Kind of eased away from VTC over the last couple of minutes. Turning over the Knights and making quick work at the offensive end. So a 15-point spread. VTC head coach Jamie Patterson wanted to talk it over, make some adjustments, see if they can hang in this one. Get to halftime still in striking distance. Puts it up for grabs. Tough pass there and easily picked by Spade at midcourt. Broadhead had Stevenson inside, little too crisp on the delivery. And it skips away out of play. So VTC will try it again as they inbound. Casanelli finds Poole. They kick it backside to Wells. Wells dribbles it across the timeline. Then the no-look to Coach Wood on the Saints bench. It's the old joke. Had to give it to him. He was wide open, but he's not wearing a black jersey here tonight. So another turnover by the Knights. as Lopez brings it across. 3-2 defensive look by VTC as they enter to steal. Lopez, foul line jump, got it. Well, I tell you what, Tony Lopez is a nice third guard to have. An assist machine and can knock down the open jumper, showed it right there. And quick hands as she deflects that dribble away from the backside. Lopez gets it, gives it back to Broadhead. Broadhead to the paint, dumps it inside a Spate. Left-hand delivery won't go, and Lyford clears. Keeps her dribble this time, does Lyford. It's a little handoff to Casanelli on the base. Knights will keep possession, inbound on the side. He dropped it right in low. Steele having none of Wells's delivery. As we said, Regina averages 3.5 blocks per contest. Misconnection Lopez to Broadhead on that one. And VTC brings it back. Regina Steele, we'll run some of her individual stats maybe at halftime, leading the nation in a couple of categories. Blocks being one of them, but a nice delivery there. Backside, Casanelli finds Thigson for the bucket. Broadhead looking to force inside. Probably really don't need to. Just swing it around, make the defense shift. You'll get a better opportunity. Nonetheless, Lyford right to the rack. Her release won't go. Lopez pushes across. Stevenson with a sweet baseline jumper gets it to go. Does Amani. 40-23 Saints. 3.5 left in the first half. Poole on top. Miscommunication looked to go down low. Threw it off the back wall. Subs returning into the contest. McLaughlin and Lara Suente for the Fighting Saints. And that'll be number 3, Eileen Gomez, seeing her first action, the senior forward out of Burlington for the Knights. Jazz walks it into the offensive end. Broadhead finds Stevenson, fresh off the jumper. That time put it on the floor. Was looking for McLaughlin. Knights defense converged nicely and come away with a basketball. Lyford to Casanelli. Casanelli drives it to the rim. Leveled off nicely by Broadhead. Casanelli loses it out of play. 40-23. Tight game early. Through maybe the first 10, 12 minutes of play, but over the last 5, Saints have just kind of eased away in this one. Hold that commanding cushion, 17-point cushion as we speak. But another turnover by CSJ. And they'll find Lyford, will the Knights. Little elbow jump shot, gets it to go. Caitlin opened up the scoring tonight with a deep 3 from the right corner. Gets the 15-footer to go down there. Lara Suente. Left alone, she'll say, why not? Front rims it. And Wells rebounds, clears to Thigson. Drops it off to Lyford. Lyford looks to push. Ball deflected away by Lara Suente. Whistle, and we'll see which way this one goes. They're going to get Lara Suente with the body. And that is, I thought it was her 4th personal, and it is Jazz's 4th personal foul here. So she did go to the bench with 3 personals earlier in the half, came back in and picks up her 4th right there. So after Lyford shoots her first of 2, Coach Wood will sub for Lara Suente. Lyford gets her first to go down, and here comes Kennedy. Mookie subbing in for Lara Suente at the 2:18 mark of the first half. So the good news is for CSJ people, comfortable cushion right now, 14-point advantage. Bad news is Clears Suente with 4 personals. See if that comes back to play a factor in the second half. Lopez kicks it back to Kennedy. Wing 3 ball won't go. Ball's on the deck. Lopez comes out of the pack with it. Finds McLaughlin. Little up fake. Drew the contact, did Jamie. And that should be a 1-1 situation. Yes, team 7th on VTC. And McLaughlin works her way to the line for a 1-1. Jamie, an excellent free throw shooter. Coming into this one, a 78% on the year. Put the whammy on her right there, I guess, as front rims that release. Leifert brings it across. Guarded by Lopez. Casanelli trapped on the baseline. Deflected out of play. Knights will retain possession. Stoppage of play. As the official confers at the table. 40-26. A minute and 43 left in the half. And they get the shot clock adjusted to 14 seconds where they wanted it. Knights inbound underneath their own. They go out deep to Casanelli. Casanelli finds Wells. They go deep corner. And that shot by Wells won't go. By Thigson, I should say, won't go. And Leifert brings it the other way. Trouble and picked by Kennedy, who takes it to the rack. And Mookie will work her way to the line for a pair. They'll get the personal. Her first, team's 8th. First one rattles out for Kennedy. Mookie talking to it, saying get in there. To no avail. Smile on her face, like to see that. Heck of a player is Miss Kennedy. As we said, 1,000-point career scorer. Can beat you off the bounce and beat you from deep. And can beat you from the free throw line. Gets that second one to go. 15-point advantage for CSJ. Minute 15 left in the half. They find Wells with a head of steam. Takes it into the left corner. Wanted Leifert on the box. Deflected out of play by Lopez. Thigson finds Wells. Wells picks up her dribble, goes back to Thigson. Pressured by Stevenson. Deep corner, Leifert. 3-ball rims out. Gomez on the glass. And kicks it backside. Finds Wells for the bucket. So VTC refusing to go away. Cuts the deficit to 13. Mookie, right, straight drive to the rim. Split 2 defenders in the paint. Lays it softly up for the deuce. $15-point advantage. 30 seconds left on the game clock. Wells with a head of steam gets into the paint. They're going to get McLaughlin with the body. Good block up top. But push with the body, and Wells will shoot a pair. Rattles in the first one. Senior center out of Orleans, Vermont. Back rims her second attempt. Saints clear the timeline in a hurry. Lopez crossover dribble, kicks it backside to Kennedy, steps into the 3-ball, won't go. Stevenson on the backside glass. 15 on the clock. Lopez looks inside of McLaughlin, puts it on the deck, running hook, got it. Jamie gets one to go. Has had some good looks inside in this first half. Gets a nice bucket there. And that'll do it here in the first half of play in Rutland, Vermont. 45-29. And all in all, a good half of play. Saints came out, and VTC said, we're going to play tonight, and stayed right with the Fighting Saints early. I say early, probably through the first 10 to 12 minutes of play. And then the Fighting Saints defense started to turn over the Knights. Offense out of their defense, if you will, and eased away from CSJ. But when it looked like it might be a total walk-away blowout situation for the Fighting Saints, VTC made a little run of their own, cut it back inside of 12 points late in the half, and we'll end this first half with CSJ, a nice bucket inside by McLaughlin, and a 16-point cushion for the home squad. So with the break on the floor, we'll take an extended break for halftime. We'll be back in a few on STCN. And welcome back to Saints basketball here on STCN, Stafford Technical Center News. Just about ready to get this second half underway. Saints holding a 45-29 advantage at the half. And I would guess Coach Wood, Fighting Saints head coach Chris Wood, probably talked with his troops at halftime and said, look, we're turning them over with pressure defense, and they're turning us over in our half-court offense. Just trying to maybe be a bit too aggressive at times offensively, the Fighting Saints, in the offensive end of things, trying to enter passes into the post area or maybe just being a little loose on some deliveries, because turnover-wise, the Knights really didn't do anything pressure in terms of pressure defense that should have given the Fighting Saints any problem with the basketball. They played a 2-3 zone or a 3-2 zone the entire first half. Look for some more of that in the second half. So I'm sure Coach Wood was told his troops, take care of the basketball. When we have possession, let's get a shot at the end of our possession, and we'll be just fine. Lara Suwente, the only player in foul trouble, as we highlighted in that first half, finished that first half with 4 personals, did Jazz. So be anxious to see if she comes out to start this second half with a 16-point cushion that the Saints hold, possibly not. Maybe you go to Lopez, Tony Lopez off that bench, the third guard, if you will, in the rotation for CSJ, and a quality guard is Tony. And we're back. Sorry about that little delay, but Lyford, Casanelli, Poole, Thigson, and Wells started out for the Knights. And Kennedy, Larasuente, McLaughlin, Broadhead, and Steele for the Fighting Saints. Quickly a turnover. Steele stepped in the passing lane. And a turnover right back. Broadhead gives it right back. So what we talked about in our break, take care of the basketball. Both teams come out and turn it over within the first 18 seconds. Let's get their feet under them, get going here in the second half. Lyford on top. Burkhart finds Casanelli in the corner for the jumper, won't go, and the guards break. Larasuente to Kennedy for the score. You see those two coming at you. That's not where you want to be defensively in a 2-on-1 situation. VTC kicks it over. Broadhead finds Kennedy, takes it to the rim, and scores again. Does Mookie. Quick timeout. 46 seconds in here. And Coach Jamie Patterson wants a full timeout. Saints lead it by 20. We'll be back. And welcome back to Saints basketball here on STCN. We're less than a minute into the second half. VTC head coach Jamie Patterson takes the timeout. Doesn't want this one to completely get away, as the Saints turned his Knights over 2 or 3 times there and quickly converted it into points. As I said, one of those breaks was Lara Suente and Kennedy coming at you in a 2-on-1 situation. Both of them cat quick with great handle and the ability to pass and certainly finish at the rim. Not where you want to be as a defender back in that situation. As VTC inbounds, and they break pressure across the timeline, get it to Burkhardt. Back to Wells, now Burkhardt, I should say, Burkhardt. Haley Burkhardt sets up, finds Thigson. Back to Burkhardt. Casanelli here on the wing, picks up her dribble looking for help. And they enter down low. A spinning one-hand release by Wells. She'll draw the personal. They'll get McLaughlin on the push. Check that Broadhead on the push. Her second, team's first. And Wells front rims her first release. Poole, number 21, coming into the game for VTC. She'll give Thigson a rest. And the senior center, Wells, gets it to go on her second release. Quickly into the offensive end. Lara Suente, stop, pop. Can't get it to go, but Broadhead working hard on the offensive glass. Controls, looked inside for steal, skips all the way backside. And Lara Suente, she splits 2, gets to the painted area. Too crisp on her release. McLaughlin on the boards. She goes to the deck. No call, and VTC pushes the other way. Off Poole's hands, Lara Suente and Kennedy 2-on-2 this time. Kennedy fades to the corner for the 3-pull and gets it. Nice job. Instead of going to the rim that time, faded out to the deep corner, and it was a long 2, not a 3, but nonetheless, Lara Suente and Kennedy match up again on a Lara Suente steal, finding Kennedy at the rim for another score. So starting to get away here from VTC, this vaunted pressure of the Fighting Saints starting to take its toll on the Knights. Foul call there went against Kennedy, her second, team second. VTC looks down the floor. They go backside to Casanelli, who takes it to the rim. Steele sends it back at Casanelli, her 5th block of the day. Hesitation dribble. Gets to the paint, bottoms the shot, but they'll call the foul on the floor. They'll get Casanelli with the block before Jazz release the shot. So quickly into the game is Thigson. She'll come in for Casanelli as the Saints inbound underneath their own. See if that ball works its way back to Lara Suente, the backside corner. That's where it goes. Lines up the 3-ball. Won't go. And clearing nicely on a rebound in traffic was Wells. Pushed it up the sideline quickly. Found Thigson. She's called for steps in the backside corner. As Kennedy finds McLaughlin, kind of a running one-hander tied up on a release. VTC clears the timeline. Burkhardt finds Poole. Poole looks corner, and they get it down to Lyford in the shallow corner for a nice turnaround bucket. So nicely done by the Knights. And Lyford with the finish. There's Suente, splits the 2 on top with a beautiful crossover, weaves inside. Boy, she can handle the rock, can Jazz. Fouled out in front. Foul goes against Burkhardt, her 4th, team 2nd. And Steele will inbound underneath for CSJ. Get it on top to Kennedy. Down inside is Steele. Her left-hand release won't go. Thigson with the rebound. And they push sideline to Wells. Takes it to the rim. Blocked by Steele. Don't know if she left her feet. Just was patient and sent it back. Broadhead corrals it. Looks backside. Kennedy with a spin dribble. Got it. Nice little spin move into her jumper off the right box. Mookie gets it to go. 55-32. CSJ starting to pull away in this one. Although the Knights say not so fast. Leifert knocks down a 3-ball from the right corner. Her second 3 of the evening for the sophomore guard from Barry. There's Suente and Broadhead. Play pitch and catch. Now they enter into McLaughlin. They go high-low. McLaughlin to Steele for the bucket. The bigs buddied up. McLaughlin high finds Steele low for the deuce. VTC pushes it right back to their offensive end. And that time, they'll give Regina for the foul. So Steele going after another shot block, whistled for the foul, her third, team's third. First shot up and good by Thigson. Freshman out of Barry, Vermont. And into the game for the Saints, number 14, Lopez. And number 25, Shayonica Spate. Second one rattles out. Lopez brings it across with a 21-point edge. Fine Broadhead on the backside. They'll get Kennedy on the steps. Kind of walked into that shot, released it, Mookie. So the Knights will bring it this way. The 15-21 mark of the second half. Trailing by 21. Leifert, one dribble, picks it up. Trap, gets it out of there. Burkhart finds Thigson on the backside. That shot deflected out of play. Knights, I should say, will inbound. Find Casanelli. Kicks it on top to Burkhart. Leifert on the wing. Little give and go. Leifert to Casanelli. Back to Leifert for the bucket. Nicely done. Oldest play in basketball. Pass, cut, get it back. Results in a score for Leifert. Lara Suente dumps it down inside. That shot by Spate doesn't find the mark. And Wells finds Casanelli unguarded in the corner. Quickly recovered, though, in the defensive series. Did CSJ's. Broadhead blocks that shot by Casanelli out of play. They find Wells, pounds it twice, kicks it in the corner to Thigson. Shot off the mark. Broadhead on the push. She'll find Kennedy on the backside. Mookie front rims it. Battles, gets her second one up there, won't go. And Leifert in from nowhere to claim the rebound. Knights push it up. Wells finds Thigson. Her shot won't go. Lopez on the push the other way. Kennedy going to give it another try. Her left hand release goes this time. A nice find by Lopez in transition. Kennedy finishing at the rim. Leifert, why not? Front rims that release. And a good box out by Shayonica Spate for CSJ. Sub into the game, number 10, Amani Stevenson, and number 5, Jenny Mendez for CSJ. We said Mendez can shoot, handles it in the corner there, looks inside to Steele, fan it back to Stevenson. And they got a 3-second violation on the Saints. But a nice, deep and productive bench for Coach Wood. And seeing it in action tonight. Of course, they come right back in action tomorrow night against a strong Albany Pharmacy squad. So back-to-back runs here. And nice to have a luxury of a strong bench. rest your people here tonight, knowing you'll be right back out here in 24 hours. And that's a 5 count. Mendez doing a nice job on the basketball, pressuring. 5 count turns it back to St. Joseph. They find Stevenson on the wing. Looks for Mendez in the corner. Kicks it to Lopez at the foul line. They'll stay on the right side. Stevenson puts it on the deck. Whistle and a foul. They'll get Lyford on the hole. Team's third. And Lyford second. Swing it backside to Lopez. Mendez. Check that. Mendez bottoms the 3 ball from the left corner. And we said Jenny can shoot it. Showed it right there. Lyford quickly back down to this end. Her floater won't go, and Lopez on the push. Stevenson, open jumper. Can't find the mark. CSJ will retain possession. Back into the game for the Knights. Number 20, Thigson. She'll give Lyford a rest. Lopez looks it over, finds Stevenson. Miscommunication on that delivery. Thigson finds Poole. Again, a quick hands of Lopez. Hands in the passing lane, deflects it out of bounds. Poole looks to inbound. And she'll find Burkhardt for the shot release from the base. And we'll stay right here. So they get Regina Steele with the body inside. I think that's going to be and is Regina's 4th, team 4th. Quickly into the contest is McLaughlin coming back for Steele, who sits with her 4th. So Lara Suente and Steele both with 4 personals as we speak. The Knights get it on. Casanelli. It's an on top. Thigson gets it to go, the little runner in the lane. Quickly to the offensive end. The Saints come back and a hold inside. As McLaughlin wanted to spin and shoot, but had Thigson on her back. She'll be assessed for the personal. Mendez will inbound underneath. They go out top to Stevenson. Swing it to Lopez. Backside cornered Mendez. Front rims the release. And VTC comes out of the pack. That's Burkhardt with the basketball. Clears the timeline. They look to go down inside to Casanelli. Shot deflected. Spate comes out with it. Finds Lopez. Backside Mendez up and in for 2. So nice look by Lopez, finding her teammate Mendez on the backside. Lopez working hard, pressuring the basketball right there, and pressures Poole into a carry. We said Lopez can do a lot of good things. Finds Mendez on a nice delivery and then pressures the basketball, creates a turnover defensively. Into the game for the first time tonight, number 3, Ebony Jones for the Saints, and she has it on top. Back to Spate. We find Lara Suente. A nice drop inside to McLaughlin. Can't finish at the rim. Casanelli runs the loose ball down, then throws it to Spate. Spate out in front to Jones. Jones looks it over. Why not? She'll go to the rim. Won't go. McLaughlin cleans it up. So Jamie doing what a big's supposed to. Anticipate the miss, get to the front of the rim, and cashes it in for 2 there, does McLaughlin. Puts it on the deck twice, does Thigson. Shot won't go, gets her own rebound. Finds Burkhardt. Shot off the mark. McLaughlin clears to Jones. Up the left sideline, Lara Suente gets into the paint, kicks it backside wing for the 3-ball. Mendez, mark it up. Spot up shooter, and a good one is Jenny Mendez. That time, Lara Suente found her teammate, and Mendez converts the triple. Turnover again here on the Knights. Steps that time called. 69-40. 10-11 left in the half. And they'll get Jones on a travel violation there. Not sure about that one, but nonetheless, the Knights bring it this way. CSJ sitting in a 1-3-1 zone defense right now. You're working on a little something in game action that they might use tomorrow night. Knights find Leifert inside, shot off the mark. Lara Suente pushes, finds Mendez. 12-footer, too close that time for Jenny. She likes the deep ball. Just kidding. She can certainly knock those down as well, but that one didn't go. Leifert crosses the timeline, finds Thigson. Backside to Casanelli. Up and one. It's one of those McLaughlin got there just in time to foul. So good ball movement by the Knights. Finds Casanelli for the lay-in. And the senior guard works her way to the line. Back into the game is number 0, Shamari Broadhead, checking in for McLaughlin. Up and good for Casanelli. And Jones brings it across. Finds Lara Suente on the deep wing. Jazz directs traffic. They swing it backside to Spate. Kick it all the way back to Lara Suente. Got it. Jazz knocks down the triple. 72-43, commanding 29-point spread for CSJ. Leifert to the bucket. Lara Suente rolls out the outlet to Jones, who looks deep down the floor to Broadhead. Ball fumbled around. Spate, Jones, Broadhead. She'll back it up, will Shamari, and now go to the hoop. Shot off the mark. All Saints here in this second half as they hold a 29-point advantage. And the Knights go inside on the box. Spin move by Wells won't go. They kick it back on top. Burkhardt sets up, finds Leifert on the wing. Thigson back to Leifert. Look to score on that give and go. They did earlier in the half. That time can't convert. Broadhead waits for her teammates. Goes corner, Lara Suente, little jab. Skip pass, Mendez. Front rims her 3-ball. Good hustle by Spate. Runs it down, finds Lara Suente. Weaves her way to the shot release, won't go, and Leifert runs down the floor rebound for the Knights. Burkhardt finds Leifert. Wanted Wells on the box. Broadhead too quick. Speaking of too quick, the Saints going right to the rim at the other end. Lara Suente can't convert, but backside cleanup by Ebony Jones. Up and in. Casanelli picks up her dribble. Finds Burkhardt, who gets it to Casanelli. On the deck, up and in. Off the backside, nice move that time by Poole. Check that, Thigson. Mendez back rims that one. When the official says we're coming this way. Shamari Broadhead assessed with the personal. back into the game come 21 Poole for VTC. And Kennedy returns for the Fighting Saints. Checking my roster here. And Nia Gilchrist, also for the Fighting Saints, number 13, seeing her first action of the night. Good passing. Casanelli finds Wells for the 15-footer on the backside. So Gilchrist into the contest for her first run of the evening. Saints assess a travel violation there. And the Knights bring it this way at the 6:19 mark, commanding 24-27 point spread, I should say, for the home squad Fighting Saints. Running hook won't go for Bricart. Saints quickly run out. They find Broadhead, who loses the handle. And throwing it around the horn here, both clubs right now. Gilchrist gets it to Kennedy. She'll pull from the top. Her three ball won't go. And the Knights cross the timeline. They find Wells. Wells hands off to Bricart. Bricart pressured by Jones. Nicely done by Gilchrist. Stepped in the passing lane. She'll lay it up and too strong off the glass. Kennedy cleans it up. Gilchrist a little disappointed, but did the hard stuff. Got in the passing lane, picked it off, just couldn't get the layup to go. Getting that one to go is number 20, Katie Thigson. Bottoms the three ball. So just under 5 minutes left in this one. Saints up 26. They swing it to Kennedy. A little hesitation and go. Nice deuce for Mookie, softly off the window. Again, VTC only dressing 7 players here tonight. I'm sure tired are the ladies in green. And that foul goes against Kennedy, her third. Back into the game comes number 13, Gomez for VTC. Number 30, Kennedy for the Fighting Saints. And number 14 as well for CSJ, Tony Lopez. Poole's first attempt rattles out. Thigson runs it down, gets the ball out to Poole, who finds Gomez for the elbow jumper. So just into the game, Gomez knocks down the elbow jumper, and the Saints promptly turn it over. So a big run tomorrow night here for the Saints. Albany Pharmacy coming in. Talking to Coach Wood before the game, he said Albany Pharmacy just trailing them in conference play. As Stevenson checks back in for the Saints. So back-to-back runs. This one well in hand for CSJ. And a big one right back here tomorrow night. Wells puts it on the deck. And they'll get McLaughlin for the hold as Wells went to the rack. Jamie's third, team's eighth. And Wells steps to the line for a 1-and-1. Up and in for the senior out of Orleans, Vermont. had a strong game here tonight. Came in averaging 13 points, 12.5 rebounds. Lines up her second. And that one goes as well. And a full timeout taken by VTC head coach Jamie Patterson. We'll take one too. All CSJ. Welcome back to Saints basketball here on STCN. Head coach Patterson taking that time out, probably as much for just a rest for his players. As we said, only 7 dressed tonight for VTC. So a lot of minutes spread thinly amongst the 7. And with 3:55 left, Coach Patterson talked it over with his troops as Lopez clears the timeline for CSJ. They go corner to Gilchrist. Shot release rims out for Nia. And Burkhardt brings it across for the Knights. Gilchrist jumps into passing lane. Deflected out of play. And into the game for CSJ, number 20, Kyla Booten. Her first minutes of the evening. And she'll quickly pick up the personal, will Kyla. And Thigson works her way to the stripe. Up and in for Katie. Scores at 11 points a night. Just began playing in the second semester, so a nice addition to this VTC squad. And bottoms a pair does Thigson. 78-56, 3.5 left in the women's run here in Rutland, Vermont. Men's action to follow. Stevenson dribbles out to the top. And they'll get Gilchrist for the travel. As we said, the Fighting Saints came in 14 out of their last 15 and 4 straight. They'll put this one in the books as well. So 15 out of 16 and 5 straight for the Fighting Saints. We talked about ranked number 1 in the USCAA nationally, ranked number 1. We're not talking local now. Under the umbrella of the USCAA, not NCAA or NAIA, another organization that CSJ plays under. And number 1 nationally. I don't care who you play. You're something number 1 nationally in anything. That's something to talk about. As the Saints go down low to McLaughlin. Her jump hook won't go off the base. BTC brings it to their offensive end. Burkhardt lines things up. Finds Thigson on top, who swings it to Wells. Wells to Burkhardt. Picks up her dribble, pressured by Jones. Thigson on top, pressured by Stevenson. Good active defense here by the Saints. And there you go, shot clock violation. So the Saints got in the passing lane, moved their feet, and come up with a shot clock violation. Inside of 2 to play. As Jones brings it across the timeline with a 22-point cushion. Drives it, kicks it to Gilchrist. Gilchrist puts it on the deck, rises and fires, won't go. McLaughlin runs it down. Fresh shot clock for the Saints. Jones picks up her dribble, finds Stevenson. They swing it corner to McLaughlin. Jamie buries the 12-foot baseline jumper. So all Saints here in the second half. They look to put another W here in the books. Thigson lines up her three ball. Won't go. McLaughlin runs it down. Drops it off to Jones. Ebony looks up the floor. Throws it off the back wall. Miscommunication on the release. And the Knights will bring it to their offensive end of things one more time. Inside of a minute. As the Knights look things over. They enter on the box. Wells denied by McLaughlin. Good idea, but Jamie, having none of it, sends it back at Wells. Knights will inbound underneath their own. 17 left on the shot clock. You get it on top to Burkhardt. Jones went for the steal, came up empty, goes inside to Wells this time. She spins into the painted area. Whistle on a foul. They'll get McLaughlin with a personal. Go ahead. Around, I was going to call it around and out, but around almost out, and it drops for Wells. And she'll line up her second. Front rims that release, but runs down or miss. And the Knights will set on top with Burkhardt. Swings at the Poole. Poole picks up her dribble, is trapped, back to Burkhardt. Elbow, stop, pop, won't go. Jones up big for the rebound in traffic. 10 seconds left in this one. Jones sits on top, crossover dribble. Gets it to LePan. Front rims the shot release. And that'll do it here in Rutland, Vermont. An 80-57 CSJ W. And at times it didn't come easily. First 10, 12 minutes of the contest, VTC was right there, knocked down some jumpers. Some of the three-point variety, handled CSJ's pressure effectively enough and made it a contest. But the Saints finished the first half pushing out to a 16-point lead at the half, and then picked up where they led off late in the first half in this second half, running out to at times a 30-point advantage before putting this one in the books as an 80-57 victory. Their fifth straight, and 15 of their last 16 for the number one ranked National Lady Fighting Saints.